now we have finished off the applique that we wanted to do, which is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. However, this video is showing you that eventually we need to pick colours. I'm going to do a jelly roll mismatch between, which doesn't involve much cutting other than sewing 3 strips of fabric together and cut them to size, so it's very, very easy, very, very quick. But I want to show my method to you of how I would choose colours that will work really well given the colours that I've used within the applique and also the colours that are going to be part of my border. Now, I was a bit hampered because when I started this project with a friend of mine, I was literally picking out anything that came, any odd thing that came to mind that just fitted and worked for me. I didn't plan it. It was like as we go kind of thing. So now I'm trying to tonalise it using plain fabric and bring it back in and link it to my outside border to make it, an overall nice project. As I said to you, if I had thought this through and it was something of my own that I was doing, I probably may have picked different fabric and different colours for the actual applique as well. But now I'm doing the best I can to bring it all together and show you how I choose colours to bring that fabric forward. I hope you're going to enjoy it. Okay, so I've taken some of my squares, this is my 12.5 inch round up square, so I just place that entirely where I want it. Then using my cutter, which I hope you can see on here, I just will notch it back so I can go forward and to the side and to the bottom, and then without losing my grip I'll change hands. I'm pretty ambidextrous. Oops, I have noticed that moved slightly. I want to just make sure I am covering everything at 12.5, and then left-handed firm press. Left hands are not usually as firm as right hands. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm pretty ambidextrous. And that's a right-handed cut, and I still didn't get that one. But there we go. Making sure we're on the fabric and not losing anything. Get rid of all the excess that we had under the hoop. The excess, as I would call it, no-show mesh, which is this, which is what we hooped up with, the no-show mesh. Now, I don't cut it any further. It can stay the same size as a square. It can get sewn in as a square. It's not going to impede me or upset me in any way. If you're using a harsher paper type tearaway, well, then what you will do is probably using your scissors, you'll go around and you will, make a square or what have you, and tear away what's underneath. But what you will find, which you won't find with no-show, which is why it's called no-show mesh, is that when the quilt is finished, you will still have the square of a very white substance. If I just get, if I just put under here something else that's really white, can you, I don't know whether this is going to come out on camera or not, but can you see, you can see the extra white underneath. With no faux mesh, you don't see it, right? So that's why I would recommend that. Naturally, I got stitching here that it's very, very loose, so I'll just use a stitch unripper, which is where we sewed down the whole thing in the very first place, and get rid of my stitching that was actually around the applique that we did. Now I can do that to the rest of the ones that I have. Okay, so then we'll come back when I've done that. Okay, now in my mind I've taken out all the stitching bits around that we tacked it down. Very easy, just get rid of it. And I'm looking at the girls, I'm looking at what I did, and obviously this one is the biggest one, so she's got to go in the middle in my mind. The others are more to size, so that's probably the layout that I will do. But between each square I am going to do 12.5, this will make it bigger, I am going to do a 12.5 inch, these are 12.5 inch squares unfinished, which means that when they're all together all of the squares will end up 12 inches, right? Okay, that's one thing. So then what I'm putting to you is, I said to you, alright, I want to do about 4 or 5, I'm not sure yet, inch border around. Let me just show you the fabric. I got this fabric, yeah? So I want something fairly colourful, yeah? So look at this, it's gorgeous, isn't it? All kinds of colours, purples, blues, different tones of blues, purples, pinks. There's a lot in here that you can work with, so it doesn't really matter what I use for other fabrics. This is going to tonalise it as an outside border and bring it all in. So that's one thing. So that's what I'm going to use as borders at the end of the day. Now the next thing I want to use, I said to you, the focus on this quilt was doing the applique for me, for my friend, but now I want to make a very quick lap quilt, and the quickest way I could do it is by taking some jelly roll strips and saying, well, what colours do I want? So that's what I'm going to do next. I got a couple of jelly rolls. I got this one, which is a Muda, and it's quite a lot of pastel colours, but they're all patterned. I could use some of that. I don't want to, because although they're only small patterns, it will distract from what I actually want people to look at, which is the outside border and the applique. So here, this is, I don't know how you store jelly rolls, but if I've used a few pieces, as I have out of this one, this is the Robert Kaufman pastel colour jelly roll, but obviously I've taken a few strips out of it, which means I have kind of unleashed it, and I will unleash it a bit more, yeah. I still put it in a bag, so it's all together, yeah. And now, I don't know, I've got to look at things now and make my mind up, basically, about, these are all going to be about 42, 40, between, well, it depends on, it's all Robert Kaufman's, so they're all going to end up the same length, but they will be between 40 and 42 long. I can't just take 3 strips and do it all, because that's not going to be enough. So I've got to look at it now, look at the colours that I've already got, also balance it with what I intend to use. So all of this now I'm saying to you, whereas right at the beginning I started to make these ad hoc bits and pieces out of my stash, because I was showing someone and using them as just sample pieces. Oh, well, you know, and just at the end of the day, oh, you cut this, cut that, and use a bit of fabric, right? So it wasn't entirely planned from word go, but now, naturally, these things are set in stone, you see, colours. So now, and I'm quite happy because I got colours that will work in. So now I've got to take my best guess at strips that will bring it all in and marry it all up. I didn't want to use a complicated pattern strip like this one, because it would detract from what I want people to actually look at. Okay, so now with both bits in front of me, without trying to cover up my original stitching. I think one of the first things I'm going to say was, well, I need a bit of jade, a bit, because this one, and have I got one here? Well, I got something similar, so I'm just going to go through my stash. You know, there are loads and loads of, oh, there we go, now I found one, that'll do me. I found a bit of jade. I know it's not quite the same, but it's in the spectrum. That's kind of aqua jade. I'm going to use that one. That's going to work for me. It's going to work for me as well because it's, you know, within the spectrum of that as well. So number one, I'm going to use that. I don't know how many I'm going to want yet. We'll come back to that. But the next thing, well, obviously I've got a lot of purple here, here, there. What's under it? Oh, she's navy blue. Right, so I do want a purple. There's a purple, right? So in my stash now, yeah, that'll work with that, that'll work with that. So I'm going to put a purple up there. Now, what else? Well, I got a very peachy colour, which is used on absolutely every single one. So I may take this peach. Not working very well with my outside fabric, but certainly matching the feet, the arms on every other one. So I'm going to say I want that as well. This is how I work with myself, because I want to, using the colours I got, I want to bring things in. Now I got a red. I'm looking at the rest of the things. I got a red and a brown, which is wood, yeah. I've also got a yellow, so I really do think I'm going to have to use a yellow, but instead of using, well, two of these, instead of using a dark yellow, although I got yellow, I'm going to use a lighter yellow, but it's yellow, okay? And I do, and I'm looking at it now, and I don't know where it may be on my range of things, but I want a red. Oh, maybe red's too much. Maybe red is too much. So what would I want to use then? If I wasn't using, because I got a red on this girl. I haven't got a red, I don't think. I've got navy blue, but I haven't got a red on anything else. But I do have, so I think to myself, okay, I do have a really dark pink. Although these are pastel colours, so I don't think it may give me that opportunity. There's about the darkest pink it will give me. No, it won't give me any more. That's about, so let me think. No, they're lighter. This is the richest pink it will give me. So yeah, I'm going to use that. Then what? We got any green? What have we got? I got 4. No, yeah. Oh no, 5. I've got purple. I want one more. So I want a blue. I definitely want a blue. I want quite a rich blue. So I'm looking at it and well, even from this end I can already see the one that I want. I want that blue. I want that. Now, I'm not sure if that's enough fabric. But I'm going to take that away, and I'm going to say, well, and for my own sake, I'm just going to relay my roll, because I need to tidy things up, so I'm just going to relay down my roll of what I want. I'm going to do one lot and see how far I get, and then that will tell me then whether I have to come back and pick more colours. But at least I know so far the colours I have picked. We'll see, I've used that purple somewhere, and here's the other bits. But some, oh, it's wrong way round. Come on, Jack, what happened? Let me try and get them up together and shake them down and put them on top. So now I'm just going to not roll, but put those this is why I do it, put those back in my plastic bag, yeah, because you're never ever going to roll it up sufficiently again, but you can put them back in the bag and keep them safe so that you know that's a good roll that you can go again. So what have I got? 6 now here to work with. So I'm going to do 3 together. I'm going to show you how to do it. 3 together and see where that leaves me and how many more I might need to pick. Alright, so here's a quick mock-up. The white squares are where my applique is going to be, but as you can see the coloured squares, and take no notice of the colours, they've got nothing to do with what I'm doing. It was just the simplest thing that came to mind when I was mocking this up. The large borders, I've already showed you the fabric that I'm going to use for large borders, which has got nothing to do with the colours that are in between. But this is just a quick mock-up, something I do when I'm like, am I going to do this? What am I going to do? Is it going to look okay? And I'm happy with it. It's the wrong colours, nothing to do with what I actually will end up with, but it's an overall view of like, if I do it in this way, yes, it's going to work for me. So that's something else, and I just wanted you to see that, like how I mock up a quilt before I even start, and I hope this helps. And trust me, the next thing that you're going to see with me running up and down and putting these strips together, you're going to go like, wow. And there's no reason, if you don't do any applique, you can't use this to cover the other 5 squares with, you know, just keep the same seam going, and wow, brilliant. Okay. If you like what I'm doing and you're at all interested in this sort of thing, no matter whether it's like embroidery, because it's never ever just embroidery, but I have been kind of focusing on this for somebody in particular. However, if you like what I'm doing, if you're inspired and you think, oh, what's she going to do next, whatever, please like, subscribe, and like, subscribe, share with your friends. I'm trying to think what I need to say to you. And also at the end of the day, please join us on Crafty So-and-So's, because at the end of the day, that's our Facebook page, because at the end of the day, you know, we're doing this kind of thing all the time. Okay, thank you for listening.